This week on Two Noobs, the Supreme Court will let Arizona check for proof of citizenship when registering to vote for now. And other, should be a duh moment. Next, Matt gets cranky when he finds out promises to cancel student debt prompt more borrowing. Shocker. Then, what's that, Sonny? Your colonoscopy is a pain in the ass? Sorry, I can't hear you. I didn't put my hearing aids in. And then we conclude with some misery, as if that wasn't misery enough. What are the 5 worst movies and 5 worst sporting events we've witnessed? Some doozies are coming up. Start the world's tiniest violin. It is episode 2.
Hi, John. Gee, you gotta watch him because he could jump like a like a cat over here. I don't know what's. Yeah, you okay? Breathe.
Well, things here. We should have just stuck with Mini Mach. It's much more manageable.
Mini Mach, by the way,
I'm
is
coming out of your wall. That's.
I was going to say, John, Mini Mach is safely ensconced in a glass enclosure. So not only has he not come out of his original packaging, he is in a glass case enclosure here in 807
Hey, whoa,
Fill in the blank road.
I blame our listeners because of the angry writing campaign that I started. Nobody. I was supposed to be fired by this point. Mox was supposed to be in the middle. I don't know how that backfired.
I don't know either, buddy. I don't know. Yeah.
Lots of things went wrong.
Yeah.
Disney obsoleted our first topic before the episode even dropped.
Yeah, nice job, Disney, for crying out loud. You did the right thing for once? Good Lord.
They did the right thing, but it was, too little too late.
Yeah,
the PR damage has been
done. Yeah.
So what it tells me is Disney's PR department's on the bottom floor because shit travels downhill.
Yeah.
So they made the decision up top, and by the time our episode came out, shit traveled all the way downhill and got to the PR department. And it was like, that's a bad idea. Should probably not do that.
Exactly. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
What is episode 204 of Two Noobs Talking? Over coming out of my wall here, that's journeyman John Tracy.
Hey, John.
Sitting to that side of me, whatever side of that is of you, if you're watching this on a normal video, I don't know. That's Magnum Opus Matt Craig. I am Salted Earth Steve Murray. Nothing can grow.
Good Lord Almighty!
Gentlemen,
I have to talk to him later.
Now that the political orgies have been completed, I guess we can move on through the election.
Well, that's what only another 3 more months, I think, right?
If you're gonna call it that.
I have to get a laugh of the one guy who he was a congressman. I don't remember if he was a rep or a senator.
Oh no.
He's like, yes, that's right. Our border is broken. It's like, thank you, Captain Obvious.
Yeah,
and your candidate could have been doing something about it this whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Glad you showed up. That's awesome.
I mean, both of these conventions were just freaking flower and pony shows, shit shows.
That is probably another topic we could probably discuss on why that would be the case, because that's just
because only the crazy people go out for it. That's why.
That's the problem.
Because Matt, I'm way more important than you, and I need to stand on stage for 30 minutes and tell you that.
Yeah.
A la Hulk Hogan being at the Republican convention. Do you need any more evidence?
Yeah.
It's a bunch of bullshit than having Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Not
Or
just
the
to mention
RNC.
too, like with Oprah at the DNC, it's the same dog and pony show. Basically, it's like, look at this clown.
Welcome to the 80s, ladies and gentlemen, of idiots with relevancy.
Yeah. Oh,
and
man.
the best part was Thursday. I kept seeing it all over social media that they were promising, oh man, there's going to be a surprise guest at the DNC tonight.
Yeah.
And the rumors were flying. It was like, it's going to be Taylor Swift. It's going to be Beyonce. Someone was even like, it's going to be George W. Bush. I'm like, well, that would be really weird.
Yeah,
and
that
then
would be very
nothing
weird.
happened. That was the
Nothing.
funny thing. Like, oh, we pumped this up, and nothing.
That's how you get 11 people to watch an idiot speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
You promise
promise
a
something.
moon landing.
It's like the Vince McMahon booking philosophy. You basically just promise
totally,
this, and then all of a
totally.
sudden nothing happens, and it's like,
And
wow,
then the
that
Big
just
Show
wasted.
shows up, and you're like,
Yeah.
we've seen him already.
That just wasted like 2 hours of my life that I really wanted to have
We don't
back.
need that.
Well, we know it kept the fact checkers busy all last
Oh
week,
yeah,
so
it sure
that's
did.
Yes.
That's the
Yeah.
important thing. Is lies all around. Lies.
Crazy.
All right. Speaking of lies, why don't we? Wait, I shouldn't say that.
It might be. So, I don't know. I'm
Until Matt finally orders his Dubby Energy drink, we won't know. So
We won't know.
We won't. But
That's-
it is the Dubby Energy fun fact. Visit Dubby at dubby.gg or download the app to your phone. It's DUBBY. And are you feeling dry, Matt? Are you feeling dry?
not really, because I did have a couple.
But that's kind of bullshit.
Oh,
So
okay.
You're supposed to. Play
Yeah.
along.
Yes.
You're
Yes. I am feeling
Okay.
dry. Yeah.
Thank you. Try the Watermelonada
Follow the
Hydro
script, damn it.
Hydration Drink. Hydro is Dubby's new hydration formula. They've added just the right amount of electrolytes without compromising taste so that you can drink this any time of day and actually enjoy it. No caffeine. This one in particular is watermelon and lemonade with our promo code, which I didn't tell you, which is Two Noobs Talking, TOONOOBS Talking. You get $3.50 off a $35 tub.
I love that. Love it. Let's do that fun fact, Johnny. What do you got, man?
Okay.
He's not ready.
So, apparently, back in 1859,
Okay.
the United States and Britain almost got into a war over a pig.
Really?
That sounds about right.
Yes. So some American farmer, I'm not doing names or anything. Some American
Okay.
farmer, you gotta look this up.
He
if you
can't
want to.
pronounce it.
Some American farmer shot a British pig
Oh.
because he was trying to eat his potatoes.
Oh.
While having
and-
tea.
And I'll just give you the short thing. The government back then was so dumb that it happened in 1959 that soldiers were still in that land till 1874. So,
All over a shot
and
pig.
most of them were out of it by 61. So they just randomly stayed around.
Yeah.
How did they know it was a British pig? I mean, did it
It
oink
was-
with a British accent? Oink oink. What?
No, it happened at the Strait of George, the George Strait, that
Okay.
thing, whatever it was back then, where there was like 4 or 5 different countries occupying, and Britain was the one remaining. I think Spain left, and then another one left, and it was like the line in the sand was drawn
Yeah.
like with a fucking toothpick back then. And
Oh man.
this pig turned out to be from the British side, and he liked potatoes.
Who wouldn't like potatoes? You know, that kind of a deal,
And
right?
there was a huge argument during that time where the guy was like, "Well, I'll pay $100 for your pig," the American to the British man. "I'll pay $100,"
Yeah.
which is like $1,000 now. And he was like, "No, I want like $1,000, which is like, you know, a lot more."
Yeah.
And that's how the conflict started, because he was like, "No, that's bullshit. I'm not fucking giving you $1,000 for something that was trying to eat my shit." And, you know, normal land dispute.
Oh my gosh.
But the military got involved. You can look it up. It's called the Pig War of 1859. It's in history. I just learned about it. It's a hilarious story.
That's
So,
great. That's
Look it up.
awesome.
It's great.
I'm just picturing a pig,
Yeah.
eating, and he gets shot. And he goes, "I say!" Oh, it falls over.
It's almost like a Monty Python sketch, to be
I know.
perfectly honest. That's
And
funny.
it sounds like exactly where they got their stuff from.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm just gonna say right now, I think John made that whole thing up.
It's on the internet. You can find it.
We'll definitely pull it up.
Oh, if
Yeah.
it's on the internet, it must be true.
Oh, man.
All right.
Actually, to be honest, I heard it on a podcast that is tremendous. It's called American Stories.
Oh, there you
So
go.
if just getting laughter from it, the dude does a tremendous job of just random American stories. So
Yeah.
it's good stuff.
I'll have
It's
to look-
good stuff.
Yeah, we'll have to look that up. Yeah. Sounds
All right,
good.
Well, we're going to move to the over 40 rant. The
Collective
reason,
over 40, right?
Huh?
Probably collective
Collectively.
over 40. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
No, I
so-
got my book. Don't worry.
the reason the two of us are sitting here is because today was the fantasy football draft of the Torn ACL League.
Yeah.
29th year running. by the
Yeah.
way. As John holds up his fantasy football index magazine.
Yeah.
So the draft was concluded. We remarked how it seems like every year the rounds become early and earlier where we start seeing names and asking, who is this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because we just don't know. And the names we do know are like way down the list because they're not
They're
good
old
anymore.
at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at a block of wide receivers. I'm like, yeah, if you picked these guys in 2018, you would have had a Super Bowl winning season.
Yeah.
Now they're like 57, 59, and 60.
Very long in the tooth. Yeah, exactly.
So we're going to bitch about that. But John pointed out how much his fantasy football magazine cost in Oregon. So why don't you take that away?
Yes. So this wonderful thing, this amazing piece
Yeah.
of information that I studied for 11 minutes before the draft and wrote some names down,
Yeah.
which I all got, by the way. Everybody I wrote down, I got. So I
you go.
did a good 11 minutes of research.
Oh, there you go.
Except that you got a C in your grade for the
Well,
draft
I didn't
from
do
this
any.
program.
I didn't do any bullshit. I used index, not fan draft.
Yeah.
If I would have got fan draft, I would have got an A, like I did last year, and I finished 500. So I did the fan draft, got an A, finished 500. So I went with the index, which is something that we used to use back in the day.
Oh,
But
yeah.
My rant is holy fucking inflation.
Yeah.
This thing was $13.99. I didn't look at the tax because I threw the receipt out, and I also bought.
It was
another book,
Oregon, so it was 487%.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so it would have been skewed because I bought another book so I could write fantasy football stuff down because I'm on the road and I need a book to write shit down when I do stuff.
Sure.
So it's skewed. I didn't look at the receipt, but $13.99, which is probably $857 by the time it hits my bank account. So my wife's probably filing for bankruptcy.
John,
Because
what
I
did
bought
you
a fantasy
buy?
football magazine.
Exactly.
And it's not even that thick. That's what I'm bitching about.
Yeah, that's true.
But there was one there that was this thick
Yeah.
for $30.
That's expensive
And I
research.
just
Oh.
And I just couldn't make that purchase. And Christian McCaffrey was on it, by the way, my first round pick. But I refused to buy a magazine with the guy I was drafting
Oh, there you go.
because I just thought that was going to be Donovan McNabb breaking his leg in Arizona all over again if I did that. So
right.
Yeah.
Matt, you
I'm
purchased
a hockey player by nature. So
Yeah.
you purchased the
happens.
same magazine. What
I
was the
did.
cost of yours?
It was $11.99 here in Pennsylvania.
whew,
So
And
that,
I bought
you did it the online,
I
right?
bought the online version,
Yeah.
PDF,
because Democrats don't rule that place.
$8.49.
Wow. So online is the way to go, I guess, now for fantasy. But I mean,
Well, the best part about it was I could put in our scoring system, which is a little bit different than traditional,
inside
Yes.
job. over here.
and I was able to get a cheat sheet of ranked
You
players
better
based on
win
our
the Super Bowl.
I know,
I mean,
back that up.
yeah,
you,
I know.
the pressure's on, man. I don't know what else
you
to
gotta
say.
win. You gotta win to back that up.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like I couldn't believe because I mean, really, that fantasy football index used to be all over the place in the supermarket. Then they took that away.
Yeah.
I found it in a Barnes and Noble that still apparently exists, out there in the wide world. And yeah, couldn't believe the price. I was like $11.49 for a one-time
Yep.
fantasy football research.
Do you remember when it was $3.99?
Yeah.
I don't think it was ever that cheap.
I don't think it was
but
that
it was like
cheap, but-
$6.99 was probably how much
Maybe
you paid.
Last year, I think it was in Texas. I think it was $5.99
Yeah.
at CVS. Like I got it at a Target
I
CVS.
find that hard to believe.
Yeah.
I think that was it was $6.99 last year when I got
it. I keep trying to. I have last year's copy there on the floor.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it wasn't. No, it wasn't indexed. It was the one with Jalen Hurts on it, and I don't remember.
Oh, it might have been
and
Athlon Sports or
and I
something. Yeah.
And I just threw it out when I was home. So
Yeah.
I can't confirm.
But
or
it's
deny
crazy.
any
I mean, the amount, and not only that, but it's like it's very thin in terms of like other advertisements. One of the things I did like about Fantasy Football Index when it did have ads in it was like you could get all kinds of other crap.
Yeah.
Basically, like your trophies and other things, and it's like, oh wow, that'd be kind of neat to kind of you talk about it with your buddies and your friends. Hey,
totally
what about this? What about that? Now it's just all statistics and numbers and what people think it might be and all that kind of stuff.
I can't believe we're complaining about fewer ads in a magazine.
It's something I always loved.
I will say, for my money, I feel gypped, but if this was a tiny bit cheaper, I actually read through it and liked what they cut some of the bullshit out.
Yeah,
and I liked that.
I'm with you.
Cause like I said, I was able to read I read a couple articles on a couple key people, and I was like, oh, maybe I can get them, and I wrote them down, and they were there, and I was like, kind of feel good about it because I read and reacted, and it worked out.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna finish 7-6 like I always do, but at least I feel good about it.
Yeah.
Hey, that wins you the division last year.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Never know.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of the bullshit, we're gonna go to topic 1.
Oh boy.
New York Times article. So please forgive the any smugness that comes across here.
And typos.
And no, that's New
York Post, bud.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Post.
Yeah.
New York Times. It's the smugness.
Yeah.
Just smug.
Yeah, just smug. So the Supreme Court on Thursday allowed Arizona, at least for now, to toughen some voting requirements, saying that people registering to vote before the coming election must show proof of citizenship. A 2022 Arizona law imposing new restrictions on voting followed through on that, but the court declined to allow Arizona to put into effect another part of that law, which could have prohibited tens of thousands of voters who are already registered from participating in the presidential election or casting ballots by mail unless they provided proof of citizenship. So this means Arizonans newly registering to vote for the coming election will have to provide copies of one of several documents, including a birth certificate or a passport, in order to prove their citizenship. The dispute in the court turns on whether the requirement to show proof of citizenship violates the National Voter Registration Act, or NVRA, of 1993, and a 2018 consent decree between the state and the League of United Latin American Citizens, or LULAC. Under that agreement, applicants who cannot show proof of citizenship on their state forms would still be registered to vote if their citizenship could be proved through documents from Arizona's Transportation Department. The Republicans in Arizona have argued that these requirements were needed to prevent non-citizens from voting. Allowing unqualified people to register and cast ballots would dilute the voting rights of legitimate voters and undermine confidence in the integrity of the electoral process. Latino voting rights groups, Democratic officials from Arizona, and the Biden administration have challenged the measures, contending the rules violate the civil rights of immigrants and minority voters. All right, John, you're further out west than we are. What do you think of the Supreme Court's decision here?
I just want to, like, why can't we just make it simple? Like, why can't we just, why do we make it so complicated? Like, they make a ruling where they're saying, okay, well, we're fixing this, but then we're just going to make this a shit show because if we do this, then we can't. Why can't we get rid of all the voter rolls and just say we're having an election in 2024. So by November 1st, everybody has to re-register, and we'll make it really easy because it'll be a phone app.
Oh God!
No, just like the government could make a phone app. We just re-register. You put your name in, you put your license in, and everybody's re-registered, and nothing happened before. We could just make it. We could just get a normal. It just makes no sense. Why is Arizona? Why is Georgia? Why is even Texas is weird with certain things they do? Like, why are we just being weird with we just can't figure it out?
Bingo. Steve hit the nail on the head. Every state has its own voter registration laws. Every single one. That's what makes the United States unique in the fact that you have 50 individual states working together as one country. It's unlike any other country in the world. So, John, in that regard. So, I follow what you're saying. I totally get where you're coming from, though. I think just making it simpler, logic would say, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I totally agree with you on that.
Like when we bomb other countries and then we just force an election on them. And
That's a whole separate issue.
I'm just saying.
No, I'm with you. Totally. I was a little hesitant to kind of say when you were going there about like, oh, the government could make a phone app. They can't even make a website, dude.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I get where you're coming from, but they can't even make a website. They can't even make it running.
I'm a patent lawyer, which is federal law. I deal with
Yes.
a website made by the government, and
It's
it has
okay.
so many problems.
Oh, there you go.
So many problems.
Yeah.
I deal with state websites. I totally understand.
Yeah.
But government websites are ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But there is something to be said for taking a step back and just because half the state's problems are voter rolls are so big that they're like, well, we don't know what to do. Well, of course you don't know what to do because you're logging stuff back from the 1800s.
Yeah.
Like if there could be something that could come about, maybe it's just state by state, get rid of the voter rolls and just re-register. You've got 365 days or 364 days because there's one voting day.
One thing that I would probably say is I would love to see it on a county level. How would you do it on a county by county basis in the state? I don't know if that would make it any
Wipe it and re-register
simpler.
is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well.
Just wipe it and re-register. You have a census. You do more to find out shit about people. And then when it comes to voting, everybody's like, I don't know what to do. We got this shit back from 1952.
Well, and you hear a lot you also hear a lot on the right going like, oh my, or hear a lot on the left too, going like, oh my God, what are we going to do? Like, you know, if we have to re-register anybody, hold on.
That's going to make sure that, you know, all of the voting privileges that people have, they're not going to have it anymore because of all your rules, John.
You know, that kind of a deal.
Question. What are the privileges? You live here.
Yeah.
You were born here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or you gain citizenship here, then you can
legally
vote.
Then you can vote.
Legally.
Yeah.
Everybody else is out.
Yeah.
That seems to be the problem. It seems to be the problem that they wanna add people that don't exist. Dead people that are not citizens. I'm still convinced that I voted in Pennsylvania in the 2020 election, and I've lived in Texas since 2018. I swear, I won't look it up because I don't want to be that. I don't want my hopes and dreams ruined.
You know what, John? If you were convinced that you voted in Pennsylvania, I was convinced that I would vote in Texas because I know that if I voted in Pennsylvania, I do the old SAT exam, right? I fill all the ovals in. And I slip it into a big, I guess you could say,
it's a trash can.
Trash can.
No, I'm not kidding. It looks exactly like the big green municipal trash can that I put out on my curb every Sunday night.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it looks like. It's just they've attached a scanner to take the piece of paper in and put it into your trash can.
And it's like counted. And I'm like,
They figured out how to multi-use things, right? They're like, hey, we got a trash can outside of the library or the school. We could use this to dump all the ballots in, right?
Yeah.
But they can't figure out how to figure out the voter roll. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of nonsense is what it is.
Oh, it's political gaming at the highest level. No question about it. I would agree with you on that, Johnny. I think to make it simpler, you know, we've talked about it, I think, on the podcast before when it comes to voter ID. You know, you want to make, you know, if you want to make it very simple, you just give somebody a photo ID card and it's like, here you go. You don't have to, you just have to present this. You do it at the DMV. You do it when you go for a passport. You do it when you have to buy beer in the cigarettes. Same deal.
So here's how the lefties pull the trick on that. Well, none of that, all that's privilege.
Yeah.
Voting is a
But how is
right,
that-
Constitutional right. Yeah.
constitutional right. But here's always my response to that. Well, so it goes, okay, so what's the problem with requiring an ID for this?
Yeah.
So, oh well, it's racist and it's what's the other word I'm looking for? I forget the other word.
Misogynistic,
Not
sexist.
misogynistic. it's racist.
They have a laundry list.
they
of just
they
that one.
they imply that black people don't know how to get an ID
Yeah.
or can't afford an ID,
which is
racist,
completely untrue.
which is racist.
Agreed.
But I mean, the one legitimate argument they could say is, well, it's you charge for an ID, and whatever amendment it was says you can't do a poll tax, and so if you were requiring them to have an ID, which means you have to require them to pay an ID to vote, that's equivalent to a poll tax. You can't do it. So my question is, so why are we just throwing our hands up on the voting? Why don't we just make it easier for people to get IDs?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
'Cause it could be that simple.
Yeah.
Like if your income is below a certain level, you get a free ID.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay for
Because
it.
the
Very
state
simple.
can take that hit.
Yeah.
The state can take that hit easy.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, that's everybody. It's like you walk them up to there, and then you say, "Oh,
Hell,
it's poll
I'll
tax,"
even-
and it's like,
I'll-
well, fix the underlying problem.
Hell, I'll even
It's
say, well, how
the
about you issue it
highest
when you're?
level.
How about you even issue it when you get a birth certificate? For crying out loud, it should be done. Bam, just like that. Just get it done.
If
You know,
you're
you-
going to ID everybody, why not ID children?
Well, there's child protection laws in that regard too.
No,
But
but you can ID just so the parents
Oh,
have
yeah.
it. So if they need, so better for school, because we in Texas, when we moved to Texas, we needed to put two forms of identification. We needed a birth certificate and we needed a social security number.
yeah,
Why not just form them into an ID, and then you hand the school district one thing, and then the school district become more efficient? Why are these people so dumb that they can't get with the times?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I don't get it either. That's a good point, Johnny.
You could run that right up to voting. Then you're normalizing one piece of paper. I don't carry my social security now. It's in a safe. I don't carry my social security number. I have my driver's license. I don't need my birth certificate. I don't need for anything major. I don't need it
Yeah,
because I'm an adult and I've gotten to that point. Why just not normalize it at the beginning and figure it out? Like, these people are so dumb. They cause more problems being dumb.
yeah. Well, and then you add the fact that there are 50 individual states on top of it, and it's a difficult problem to solve, no question about it. And this is not something that, and anything that the government's going to try and do to try and fix this, automatic controversy. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, but the federal government could lay just a simple, hey, we need this done.
I'm with
and
you.
walk away from it. But they're so the federal government's so dumb that they would say, I
Yep.
need 800 because they just confuse things. But that's what I want to see. I want to see the federal government just say, hey, you 50 states need to figure out how to meet this regulation,
Yeah,
and then they walk away.
yeah,
We were not going to get that in this administration,
Let
but
me-
hopefully
No.
forward we might.
Let me ask a question.
sure.
It seems to me that everyone, well, I shouldn't say everyone, because most people
hmm
would agree that you should be a citizen to vote. I think everyone,
I would agree with that.
I
pretty
would
much
say that's
agrees.
85 to 90%.
Right,
Yeah, I
right.
think so. Yeah. I
and
think so.
the when people on the right raise laws like, oh, you got to be a citizen to vote,
hmm
the response from the left is, well, that's already a requirement. So what do you need the law for?
Sure.
And to some extent, I kind of get that argument,
hmm
but
I totally agree that that's a good argument to have. I guess.
right, it's a good argument to have. But then you get to, well, you need to prove who you are when you go to vote. I mean, when I don't know about when you go to vote. When I go, there's an old person sitting on a table
Yeah.
with a book wide open.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I could
Sign
say
here.
I could say a name that couldn't be my name.
sure.
I'll say Smith, and she'll flip to Smith, and I'll just peek over and happen to see a name that hasn't had a signature yet. I can be like, yeah, I'm Jim Smith.
Yeah,
That's me.
and I'll forge the signature.
I'll forge a
That's
signature.
crazy because in Texas, same thing, same old lady.
Yeah.
Wow, she
But
does double
if-
duty.
But if I don't pull my ID out in less than 5 seconds, I'm getting fucking code breakered.
Yeah, no, that's the same.
You are told as soon as you get to that line, have your ID ready
Oh.
before you get to that person, because they match ID to signature.
Yeah.
And that's how it
You're
should be.
registered ID, but that's the way it should be.
Yes. Yeah.
I have no issue with that.
Yeah. But I think to your point though, Steve, with the signatures, I think you're exactly, that is something that, okay, they see it. They see the copy of what you originally signed on your voter registration form.
Oh, yeah.
They tell you, well, 100% has to match. Well, how many times, are you going to practice?
Yeah.
That kind of a. So it's an imperfect science there in Pennsylvania. That's for darn sure. And I mean, no ID requirement, none of that stuff. It's just a signature. I'm Matthew Craig. We're voting in Tredyffrin Township, and I got to sign my name, and that's it. And I just, here's your ballot, and off you go. And it's like, okay. And it's,
That's crazy.
yeah, it is, and it's always been that way in Pennsylvania. I think it's always been that way. In that regard.
Absolutely. I never had to show my ID.
Yeah. And that should be, I think it should be very important to show identification. Again, yes, I mean, Steve, your point's valid in the fact that, okay, all these are individual privileges in terms of driver's licenses and getting beer and all that kind of stuff. That's a privilege. I totally get that. But this is important. This is like, we don't want fraud in the election. That's the bottom line. We do not want that. And there has been wild accusations on both the left and the right for the last, ever since Obama left office. It has been nothing but, we got to make sure the integrity of the election is upheld. And it's like, dude, they are being upheld. You're just being a lunatic.
Yeah.
Do we know anybody that doesn't have an ID or?
I don't.
I don't either.
My kids don't have IDs, so. Yeah.
Yes.
Actually,
I
no,
understand
that's
that
wrong.
neither-
They have school IDs.
They have school IDs.
Yes, and so does mine. So, yeah, everybody that I know has an ID. I don't understand the confusion of and
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't.
If the
get
problem is, I go back to, if the problem is, it's hard for people to get IDs, then make it less
Make
hard for
the
people to
IDs
get IDs.
Yes,
That's the
Make it
solution.
easier.
That is the
Yeah.
solution.
Not to just keep doing what we've been doing. That's
Yeah.
the stupid part of this whole thing.
Agreed.
yes.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, before we slide into topic 2 here,
Yeah.
John's trying to make sure that Matt is Matt's trying to center himself,
Zen
calm,
here over
calm,
here.
zen. I'm going to remind you that you were the toilet bowl champion for last season
Oh wow.
And-
You're just a dick.
and have not won a Super Bowl since 1999.
Thank you.
With that, we move into topic 2. Now that Matt is riled up and ready to go.
I'm going to talk in this voice for the entire topic, too.
No, I'm joking.
You might have to. Okay, college students may be borrowing more for the coming year in part because of the expectation that their debt may get forgiven. Recent research suggests with few families able to shoulder the sky-high tuition tabs, students and their parents are increasingly leaning on student loans, according to Sally May's annual How America Pays for College, or HAPIC report. Roughly half of families, or 49%, reported borrowing for college for the 23-24 academic year, up from 41% the year prior. Education debt, which now exceeds $1.7 trillion. Matt's going to blot out John's face with a graph right here to show that picture.
Yeah.
That hurts, John. Over the past 15 years, the total balance has more than doubled, even outpacing the rising cost of college. Nearly half, 48% of student loan borrowers anticipate debt forgiveness after they finish college, Sally May also found. Borrowing is up at the same time. Half of students expect their loans to be forgiven, said Rick Castellano, a spokesperson for Sally May. You have to wonder, is there a correlation there?
Also, the starting shortstop for the Boston Red Sox. That's such a plain name.
Most experts caution against taking on student loan debt you may not be able to afford in anticipation that it will be wiped out. Those considering repayment options should try to find the best option for them based on what's available now, not on what they think might happen in the future, said somebody, Nerd Wallet Loans expert Kate Wood.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing sanity to the discussion, Ms. Wood.
Thank you, Kate. Appreciate you.
John's got his hand raised, but I want to go to
Yes.
Matt first because
Yes.
I want Matt to go off the hook.
Gentlemen,
Uh-oh.
a Ponzi scheme is a form of fraud that lures investors and pays profits to earlier investors with funds from more recent investors. Let me read that again.
Yes.
A Ponzi scheme is a form of fraud that lures investors and pays profits to earlier investors with funds from more recent investors. Ladies and gentlemen, I am presenting to you that the federal student loan program is nothing more than a Ponzi scheme. This pisses me off to no end. I mean, I'm currently going through student loans. Stephen, I know you are going through student loans,
am.
correct? Yes.
Thanks to you, I just checked my balance.
Yeah,
the other
yeah.
day.
I checked my balance too. Fortunately, I've got like maybe 3.5 years left on an original. My original loan was 20 years. It was a 20-year graduate student loan that was an interest-only loan. And it was basically you're paying on the interest first before you pay on the principal. I remember in 2015 when I went on vacation up to the great northern state of Canada and toured Montreal and went down into Toronto, and it was a beautiful, beautiful vacation. I've never seen anything like it. It was absolutely gorgeous. I'm in the middle of Toronto. I'm getting hounded by this piece of crap organization called American Education Services. The notorious, they were basically part of the Pennsylvania state, part of the, I guess, wing of the federal government through student loans or whatever. Goodness gracious. I'm trying to maintain my rage here, or trying to lower it as best I can. They presented me with an invoice on a loan of $43,000, John, of $3.34. And I thought,
Billing department.
okay, $3.34. I'm going to pay that bill. They give me an invoice of $3.34. I'm going to go, that makes sense. I'm going to pay $3.34 towards it. So I pay it, go on vacation. I get a call from this jackass company saying,
Mr. Craig, I'd like to inform you that you owe more money to us. And you better pay us now. Right now.
oh, really? You gave me a bill for $3.34.
Well, Mr. Craig, our records indicate that you only paid part of the interest on the invoice.
Jackass, you presented me with a bill of $3.34.
Mr. Craig, I really want to make sure that you understand what is going on here. Even though we wrote with a crayon that the bill was $3.34.
Yes, that's right. Your bill was $3.34 and I paid it, right?
Yes, but you still owe the interest.
Well, okay, if I still owe the interest on the bill. So this phone call was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Long story short, I'm not going to waste any more time. I ended up having to pay the remaining balance on an interest payment. And then I was like, okay, next step is get the hell out of this company. And so at that point, left, all that kind of stuff. Part of the French, this really just ticks me off. It is a horrible, horrible program. And that graph that we just showed, I mean, it's atrocious. It is absolutely bad. And this was over 5 presidential administrations. The government can't help you on this one. They really cannot.
Mhm.
Like, this is something like when you go to college, you better be damn well prepared to basically buy a second house because government ain't going to help you. And if they try and forgive that loan, guess what? Someone else is going to pay that bill down the road, and it's going to be you or somebody else down the road. Get out. Don't go to college. Do not do it. Do not go. Do not take any loans out for college. I'm dead serious. This is a Ponzi scheme. Okay, I'm done.
All right, John, you had your hand raised.
I need to
All
breathe.
right, cool. Yeah,
Sorry.
breathe. Okay. Yes. We'll go there. If you're going to college, know your loans first of all, and understand the government, because government forgiving anything, we're gonna pay for it anyway. I'm paying for 970 people to go to college with my taxes. It just happens. Anytime the government spends money, we pay taxes. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's good for you or bad for you. If you're watching C-SPAN and you're going, "Yay, they passed the bill," you're paying more taxes on that, because that's all they do. They don't pay for their own stuff because they don't make any money. They get the money from us.
They spend the money very well.
Yes,
They do. No, not very well. They spend a lot of it really quickly.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's just
It's don't live life like someone's going to help you,
yeah.
especially if you're dealing in government programs, because
Yeah.
nobody's coming to save you,
Because they
ever.
are predatory. They will take advantage of
Yeah.
people that they're young and they don't know finance, and that is a crying shame. It is an absolute crying shame when you have something like that.
They learned from the banking industry. I'll tell you a story. When I was 21 years old and I had my first kid, and I was making like $6 an hour, and I had to pay for this kid. So I deposit my check in the bank, and the bank immediately goes, "Oh, you're available for a credit card for $1,000 limit."
Yep,
Not a good plan.
not a good plan.
Not a good.
Not a
plan.
good plan. No.
Wouldn't take that on my worst day at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
But-
I mean, they do that on college campuses. I remember
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
walking around
Temple.
and they got tables
The
set out.
bookstores.
Yeah.
The
Like,
bookstores
oh,
do it.
check it out. Credit cards.
Yeah.
Credit cards.
That's another scheme too with their books.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Their
But
books
that's
are
where they learned it-
ridiculous.
But that's where they learned it from.
By
They
used
learned it
people.
from
By
the
used.
banking
Yeah.
industry, and that's what they do now.
Yeah.
Look,
Well-
the problem. Absolutely, don't get a loan because you think it's going to be forgiven. Because
Yeah.
there are people fighting that, and it probably will not come to pass. So
Yeah.
don't expect that.
Please don't. Yeah.
And frankly, it's kind of bullshit that you take somebody else's money and then don't repay them.
Yes,
you
because
know,
that is
That's
just
Yeah, that's
that's just
skeezy.
sideways to how normal humans act.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, I feel like we have an underlying problem, which is the cost of education
Very much so.
is ridiculous.
I want an audit now.
Absolutely.
Every single major college and university in this country, I want a damn audit of their financial books.
What was the? I mean, we did this thing a few months ago. What was the cost for 1 year to go to Harvard or whatever? It was?
Oh yeah, it was like
it was
60,
6 figures.
Yeah, it was like total 4 year. I think was like close to like $250,000.
Yeah, that's about right.
That's like a house for most people.
Why is it
Two-
that much?
Yeah.
Why?
To hire the best of the best liberal professors to indoctrinate the kids. That's all it is.
I don't know if it's
That's all
best of
they're
the
doing.
best, but I'll go with what you're saying, Johnny.
That's all they're doing.
I
That's
mean-
what they're doing with the money.
He's not far
Absolutely.
off. It's
Yeah.
it's money to pay Nick Saban,
Mhm.
and it's money to pay the 19th century English literature professor
Yeah,
that
that's why
nobody
they're
needs for their
charging that much
education.
money.
How about third world history? That was a temple related class that I went to. Third world history.
I'd love to learn
In-
that, and I would like to pay $50 for that
Right.
because
Yeah.
I could run off third world history in 11 seconds.
Imagine taking that for 3 months
Eh,
because you had
Venezuela.
no other elective courses available to you. And you're
How
sitting
many
there
is
kind of going like, well, okay, I guess I got to do this. And the class professor was a complete and utter moron, had no idea what she was doing, and basically was just like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to put something here on my presentation, and this is what I'm going to go by. And so, oh, okay, it'll be really quick. Just got to write down what's on the screen and study that for the test, and I'll be fine. And that's exactly what I did.
Let me tell
Didn't
you a
learn
story
anything.
of college right now. My son is in, I won't say what college, but he was in a sports media class.
Mhm.
And his first lecture was on why the Eagles were racist.
Wow. Wow.
Like,
Yeah.
as an organization, they're racist. So that is what we're paying money to.
He's not going to school in Dallas, is he?
No. He's in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
He's in Pennsylvania. That's not in Philly, but in Philly,
But
that would happen.
but
Like, they would cut
John,
someone's
to
head off.
your
But
point.
why they're not the team, not the players. Talking about how the organization
Yeah.
is racist.
It's racist. Now, to your point, what good does that do at all?
It does nothing.
That wastes 1 second. Like, it wastes so much time. Because then you got to write a damn paper about how the Eagles are racist. And it's like, what am I learning on this? Nothing.
But if you've ever contacted anybody, which I have, from the Eagles organization,
Yeah.
and known these people, they're running a tip-top organization that isn't racist. It seems to be pretty legit.
Yeah.
And they're doing good for the community around them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Constantly doing that. over the
That's what blew my mind when he
Yeah.
told me that. I was like, that is the biggest lie I've ever seen, because
Yeah.
I've talked to said owner and said general manager they're not trying to do that. They are trying to help communities, and they're dumping millions of dollars into that.
Yeah.
But that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
This is what colleges are. They, back in the 70s, they were the first communist groups. That's where it came from.
Yeah.
They've just developed into
They.
a better place to push bullshit ideas.
Yeah. And they waste
To
your time
children.
with that as opposed to actually teaching you like
Well,
actual good
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Here's my final answer to that as well.
Yeah.
Learn science. I took physics classes. You know what I learned in them?
Mm.
Physics.
Yes, physics, like you were supposed to.
Who would have ever
You
thought
went to
that?
physics.
Exactly.
Here's my question to you. I'll leave you on this. Why, when my son was in freshman year, was him learning, instead of learning multiple languages, you were only learning Chinese languages? I think there were 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Why all of a sudden did all schools in high school went to those 3 languages?
Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, I think, Steve, your point is spot on. Like, if you're going to learn physics, you got to learn physics. You don't want to learn third world history. You don't want to learn any other things. You want to, because not only do you want to succeed in it, you want to excel at it. You want to really know it so you could earn a lot of money down the road and, be flourishing in society. When you're not doing that, kind of sucks.
I would like to take this opportunity to recommend, Matt, that you attend the next meeting of Rageaholics Anonymous, because I find you are addicted to Rageahol.
Luckily, I am breathing, and I'm very happy that got out of my system.
Good. No,
Thank
I'd
you
like-
for supporting me there out there in Oregon too, there, bud. John, there you go.
No,
Thank
I'd like
you.
to get the rest of my student loans out of my system.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I think I have a little bit longer than you
Yeah.
on your payment plan.
Yeah.
And if you'd like to be on a payment plan, you could visit our website, twonoobstalking.wordpress.com.
Well, we'll pay you. We'll make you pay, all right.
Enter your email address. We won't make you pay, but
No.
you'll get notified every time a new episode is posted on the website, which is helpful information because it's always good to be notified of something.
Oh, yeah.
I hate when going those long stretches when I don't get mail, because it's like I want mail. I want somebody to be thinking of me. But if you go to the website, we have all of our episodes all the way back to episode 140, which means there are 65 episodes up there. And if you want to go back before that, I'll take you to our YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe while you're there. We finally got 100 subscribers.
Thank you, Jeff.
That was another thing that went obsolete before the episode dropped.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Jeff. We appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate
Yes.
you, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. And John will send you a Dick Rocket t-shirt as a thank you.
There you go.
Where was I? Oh, yeah. So like, share, subscribe. If you want to listen to us audibly, there are links on the website to all of the popular audio podcasting channels.
Oh.
Google, Apple, all that kind of.
Does Spotify still? Yeah, I was just gonna say, does Spotify still suck, John, or is
No,
it still good?
No,
Oh, it's good.
Spotify's good.
Okay,
No longer
Spotify's-
sucking. Okay, so that's good.
There you go.
But if you still listen to one of
Spotify's
those,
the best thing going.
if you still listen to one of those weirdo podcasting sites that nobody else uses but you can get our RSS feed at the website. Plug that into your podcatcher. It will take you there, and you'll have us audibly.
There you go.
Okay.
Yes, and we're Googleable still.
Nice.
Okay, now, in between topics 2 and 3, we were talking about a friend of ours who has a Great Dane, and I mentioned leaners. John did not have his hearing aids in, so he heard wieners,
Totally.
which leads us to topic 3.
That's why he's in charge.
It's one segue that I'll never forget as long as I live. Oh my goodness.
How do you warm your wiener?
I'm not going to tell you.
Fair.
I'm waiting for this podcast to be over so I can start warming some.
Well, anyway, a hearing impaired doctor was placed on probation after Florida health officials said he began performing a colonoscopy without his hearing aids and did not know the patient was not fully sedated, according to the
Oh.
Florida Board of Medicine, or FBM. Documents filed this month. The doctor, Ishwari Prasad, was accused of not immediately stopping the colonoscopy when the patient began yelling during the procedure
Oh,
at a surgery center in Tampa on June 5th, 2023.
yikes.
In a separate colonoscopy performed the same day, Prasad delegated part of the procedure to a surgical tech who is not a licensed doctor, the complaint alleges. Prasad uses assistive
Neither
hearing
am I, by the
aids to communicate with his surgical team, was not wearing them during either of the procedures. The complaint filed in October accuses Prasad of 2 counts of medical malpractice. The minimum standard of care requires doctors to immediately stop performing a colonoscopy if a patient is not fully sedated. I mean, you want to be fully sedated when you get your colonoscopies, right, John? I mean, what? Seriously, this guy, you're a doctor. You know you need to hear. Why the hell would you not be wearing them while you're working?
Right.
Seriously.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's just like, I mean, I don't know if is it negligence? I guess it would be.
Yes.
Like,
It's
how do you,
dumbassery. It's dumbassery.
it sure
We
is.
need-
Yeah.
We need to have some kind of legal term for dumbassery.
Yeah.
Like, this is a welcome to America.
Yeah.
Where you come to work half prepared and you've got 97 excuses. This is the top level. This is a doctor that's shoving something up someone's ass and he doesn't give a flying hootenanny about it. This is where we got to, people.
Yeah.
This is when you're lazy at work. Level it up to a doctor giving a colonoscopy. He could give a flying hootenanny
Yeah.
what he's doing, and he's shoving something up someone's.
Jeez.
Doesn't care.
Yeah.
This is where we got to. Be better, people.
Yeah.
Be
What was it? Quiet quitting? I think this doctor was quiet quitting.
Yeah.
It sounds like to me.
He was quiet something.
Yeah, too bad the
raping
pa-
people today. Let me turn my hearing aids off so I don't hear them squealing.
It's too bad the patient wasn't quiet quitting. It's more like yelling a lot.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, my understanding of hearing aids, it doesn't make a deaf person hear.
No.
It increases the volume
Yes.
of what you hear.
Yeah.
So even without the hearing aids, he still couldn't hear the patient going, "Ow, my ass!"
It's like,
Well, it depends if he was deaf or not deaf. If it was just he was hard of hearing. Yeah.
you know, we talked a couple weeks ago about dentistry and how delicate they are because they know exactly when to stop, you know, and that kind of, they're able to feel. And it's like you just raise your hand and say, look, okay, can you pump me a little bit more of Novocaine? I'm feeling this a little bit. Can you do this? And they do it.
Yeah, my dentist, I went back there this week to get my permanent crown.
There you go.
They pulled the temporary one out. They said, we're not going to shoot you up right away, but if while we're cleaning, you know, if you feel something, let us know. We'll give you something to numb it.
Yeah.
And I toughed it out because I'm a tough guy. So I didn't need to get shot up, but at least they warned me that option was available and would have taking care of me.
Yeah.
They had their hearing aids.
There you go. Yeah. And
They didn't really. They don't need them.
no, they don't. But I mean, the similar applies here. I mean, you got to know like what the heck's going on, and especially if you're giving care in such a sensitive area. Oh my. You know, it's kind of like be aware of your surroundings. Like, don't. What are you doing? Honestly, what are you doing? What are we doing? You know, that kind of. So I don't know what. Oh. Do you think that would strip him of his license? Do you think, or is it just he's going to get sued? And
According to the article, according to a settlement, they reached a settlement.
Okay.
He was fined $7,500 and restricted from performing gastroenterology procedures.
Well,
So
there you
I guess
go.
he can't do.
Seems like exactly what should happen to someone like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's almost like you have to prove that you could do it again.
Oh, you can't tell that your patient is squirming on the table? Yeah,
Yeah.
you probably shouldn't be sticking things in there.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah,
You're a sadist in that.
exactly.
Go away.
Yeah.
I was shocked to learn after our last segment that Mr. Craig has
Earballs.
He does. He does.
Hearing all of Steve's, Arnold jokes and sound effects and all that kind of stuff, it definitely hit the earballs pretty hard there, Johnny.
Understood.
Drag pull
Not mad at you. Not mad at you.
All right. So, topic 4. Last time Matt and I were together in this room with Mini Mach instead of John,
Yeah.
we had some top 5 lists that we went through. We did what was movies,
Video games, and
TV
television shows. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Today we're doing a little different. We're going totally negative. We're doing
Misery Loves
5
Company.
5. Yes, exactly. I need to bitch about these things. Commiserate. 5.
Yeah, he's gonna grow from this. So you need to go.
5 movies that you watched that were horrible,
Okay.
and we're also going to do 5 sporting games that you watched either live or on TV.
Yep.
That you watched
That
that
were
were awful.
awful.
And for that movie, that topic specifically,
Mhm.
I just want to clarify: we're not talking about like heartbreak, like Joe Carter World Series, because up until they lost, it was a good game.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was heartbreaking for us as Phillies fans, but overall the game was well played.
Well, 93, they did, that was a miracle run. They
Exactly.
had no reason being there, but they
Exactly.
did. They made
But
it. Yeah.
stuff like that. Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals, Chicago Blackhawks,
Yeah.
Flyers. Patrick Kane scores. Yeah, it broke my heart, but it was a good game.
Yeah,
I'm not
Not gonna complain about
I'm not
that.
gonna say I wasted my time.
exactly.
I'm talking about like these are one of those games you're watching and you're throwing stuff at the TV. 'Cause
Yeah.
you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Your team totally shits the bed.
Yeah.
All right, so what do we want to do first? We do the movies first or the games?
Oh, let's do the movies. I think that would be really good to kind of get
Yeah,
them
the
out of the way.
movies.
Yeah.
The movies will be good.
All right, I'll go with you first, Matt.
Well, okay. So this is going to be from 5 down to 1.
Oh,
for
you've
me.
actually ranked them.
I have kind of ranked them here.
I haven't, just so.
And 5 is like not, it's worst, and then it just goes,
Worst.
then worse,
So
even
number
worse.
1 is the worst of them.
The number one that I'm going to list off would be considered to be number 5. So it'd be like 5, 4, 3, 2. Number 1 is the absolute worst movie I've ever seen.
Okay.
That kind of a deal. So, Wanted, Angelina Jolie. It was a rare Morgan Freeman swing and a miss. Every time I watched the movie, I thought like, okay, well maybe I give it a shot, see what it's all about. Assassins looks pretty good, but man,
Is this the one the Mythbusters did where
the whole gun thing.
curving the bullet
Mhm,
bullshit? Oh my God.
yeah, curving the bullet. The moment they were curving bullets, I thought, what are we talking about here? Like, this doesn't work, and they're like, so yeah, that was a complete
Morgan
swing.
Freeman was in that?
Morgan Freeman was in it.
Yeah.
That's a shocker.
Crazy. One of his rare misses. It was absolutely insane. You want me to keep going?
Sure.
The Rise of Skywalker.
You did watch
There
that.
you go.
Yes. Then third. Third worst is Jumper, which we did talk about in pre-production. That was Hayden Christensen, and that was, I think it was Mila Kunis or whoever I forget the name of the actress.
One of the weird white girls from that time.
Yeah, yeah. The one that everybody like, oh my gosh, it was wonderful, and she was in it, and it was an awful movie. Terrible. Like, Hayden Christensen could not act in that movie at all. And I think it was because the writing was so bad in that regard.
Not Mila. I don't even recognize.
Who
Yeah,
is
I
it?
don't know who that was.
Hayden Christensen, Jamie Bell.
Jamie Bell.
I
Okay.
have no idea who Jamie Bell. Rachel Bilson. I don't
No.
know who she is.
No.
Michael Rooker.
Michael
So-
Rooker? Really?
Yeah. Anna Sophia Robb.
Pass.
Diane Lane was in it, but she was probably a mom.
She's probably a mother. Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson. What the hell?
Samuel L. Jackson was in that movie too? God. Okay, that was bad.
Matt's just hating on the movies.
It's only
Usually-
Swear Misses by Samuel L.
Yeah.
and Morgan Freeman, John. It's not that I'm hating on them. Well,
No, I know. I'm just messing.
I know you are.
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson's usually the better stuff.
Yeah. Then Batman Forever, just because it was Val Kilmer
Understood.
playing Bruce Wayne, and Nicole Kidman having a hard on for him. So it was kind of like, okay, this is weird.
I didn't hate that movie. But,
Was it?
I mean, you're entitled to feel
But
that.
then the worst of the worst,
Oh, then I know where they're going.
the one that I really want my 2 hours and 20 some odd minutes back, and the one that I will always hate Joel Schumacher for, Batman and Robin. I will always, always hate that movie to the end of my lifetime, whenever that might be. Knock on wood. That was awful. So that's my top 5
That-
worst movies I've ever seen.
That will not be on my list because I didn't watch it.
Be very fortunate you didn't.
And you've admitted on this podcast you watched it in the theater, didn't you?
Uh-huh. With my aunt. And we stayed for the entire thing because, one, I didn't want to upset her getting up, and it's like, well, I've never really done that before. And, I'm thinking, well, is it right to get up and just walk out?
Ask for your money back.
And ask for the money back, possibly? And it was just bad. We just stayed for the entire movie. It was like, oh God.
Did
Arnold
she
was in that
enjoy-
movie.
I know,
Arnold.
There's a swing and a miss, too. Yeah.
Arnold. He had all kinds of icy puns. It was like, ice to beat you.
I knew Mr. Freeze from the Batman the Animated Series,
Mm-hmm.
and he was not like that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So,
Not even
yeah,
close. Yeah.
That's weird. Did your aunt enjoy the movie at all?
I don't think she did
Okay,
either.
good.
I don't think she did.
Thank God.
Yeah, it was
All right,
bad.
John, do you want me to go, or are you ready?
I can go. I can go.
Okay.
Let's save you for last because you're more of a movie aficionado than both me and
I
Matt.
gotcha.
There you go.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start with Major League 2 just because I
Oh.
enjoyed Major League so much, and Major League 2 was just dog shit compared to the first one.
Yeah, they won the pennant in the first one. Why would they go back for a
That's what
second?
I'm saying.
yeah.
Major League 2
No,
just
they didn't.
sucked.
Oh, that's right. That's right. They won
beat-
against the Yankees, but
Yeah.
they didn't
they-
actually.
Yes.
Yeah, they didn't
And
win.
Major League 2 says they lost. They got swept by the White Sox in the AL championship.
Yes.
Isn't
Yes.
that
So
amazing?
Major League 2 was just they were just trying to make money off of it, and
Yeah.
it sucked. It
Very
sucked
true.
as a movie.
You didn't like the
Um,
catcher going full Chuck
No,
Knobloch?
I loved parts of the movie, but
Yeah.
just dumb. Batman and Robin, to Matt's point.
Yeah.
Ooh, so you
Is
did
number
watch that
four-
one. I didn't know that.
Is number 4. I've seen you'll see on this list. I've seen every Batman movie, and I hate a lot of them.
There you go.
My next one, 3, will be The Last Airbender, because
Oh,
I have
God.
children. I have children that the cartoon is the staple
Yeah.
of the world, and damn it, I watched it and I was like, you fucked everything up. Like, everything, not just one thing, everything.
Everything.
That
Yeah.
was M. Night Shyamalan, was it not?
It was.
I know, and I love M. Night Shyamalan. I personally love M. Night Shyamalan. Met him a few times. He's an awesome dude.
Mm.
The movie sucked compared to the cartoon. The cartoon just killed it. You couldn't.
Yeah.
If I could go back in time, I knew him before he wrote it,
Mhm.
if I could just say to him as a muse, "Don't write this movie," I would have. I would have.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, two more.
Next,
What do you got?
number 2, Catwoman.
Oh,
you
God.
watched that?
Oh,
Yes,
no.
I've seen all of them.
Oh, no, John.
That one is awful.
Oh, no.
Oh,
I was
man.
hoping too.
Yeah, Halle Berry, you're thinking,
I was
okay.
hoping. I
Yeah.
was hoping she did something that would change the game.
Oh,
Did not.
it did not happen. No.
Yeah.
Did not.
Oh, no.
Did not at all.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
that's another one where it's like she's usually really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
didn't happen at all. No.
Last one is something very personal to my heart. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, wow.
I thought you liked that one.
I love the book. The movie was so bad.
Oh, how
The
about
movie
that?
was the worst thing I ever saw. And I didn't see the movie until I read the book.
Wow.
And so I was like, this is awful.
Not amazing. Wow.
Why did they even make a movie about this?
Yeah.
That I think that's the worst movie I ever saw. Reading the book is tremendous. The book is, I think, a passage into youth to adulthood. You should probably read that book. But that movie was so bad.
Yeah.
That is
Wow. Good selection of movies there. They were all. Oh God. Yeah.
All right,
All right,
my turn.
Mr. Murray, what do you got?
I've stopped watching movies since.
Oh, wait a minute. You said you've seen every Batman movie.
Yes.
Did you see The Batman?
Yes.
You did.
Oh,
Okay,
there you
all
go.
right.
Yes.
All right.
I'm very indifferent about a lot of them. That's
Okay.
That one
I've
I
seen
have
them
yet
all.
to see, but I will see it. I will
I'm
plan on
very
seeing it.
indifferent about some of them, so they couldn't make the list.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, John will probably back me up. The Batman is like Batman in the movie 7.
Yeah.
It's like what
Just
that is.
lame.
Wow.
Just
Okay.
lame. Just
Yeah.
lame.
I mean,
But I was so indifferent about it when I saw it.
yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is okay. It wasn't. I didn't Batman and Robin it.
Right.
Right.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. So the 5 worst movies for me. No Batmans in here because I've only watched
Okay.
good Batmans.
Be very fortunate.
Yes. I know how to pick them.
We need to have a better
Apparently.
tech conversation when it comes to Batman.
Right. Okay. So first, I don't have these in any particular order. I just listed them out. First one, I did see in a theater. I think I went with some people from work when I was working at the toy store. Was Wild Wild West.
Oh, Will Smith.
Will Smith.
I do
Yeah.
remember that. Yeah, I do
Kevin-
remember that.
Wasn't Kevin Bacon, was
Not
it?
Kevin Bacon. Kevin Klein.
Kevin Klein. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Salma
do
Hayek.
remember. I don't
Salma
think I saw
Hayek.
it, but I do remember it.
Giant robot spider. It was
Yeah.
yeah.
Set in the
Shit,
1880s.
I
Yeah.
did see scenes of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, that
do
was pretty
remember,
bad.
Yeah.
It was bad.
It was bad, yeah.
it was bad.
Did Tim Burton giant mechanical
Well,
spiders? Did Tim Burton?
No,
produce
Tim
that?
Burton had nothing to do with Wild Wild West, but his idea of a giant mechanical spider for the Nicolas Cage Superman project that got canceled,
Yes.
that made it into Wild Wild West.
Oh, awesome.
Wild
Awesome.
Wild West was not good. It was not good.
Wow.
And even the people who were in it are like, yeah.
We apologize for this.
I saw a
That's pretty bad.
video of they were asking English actors different questions, and one of them was who has done what was the hardest American accent,
Yeah.
and what was the worst attempt at an American accent, and the English guy, I was just watching him earlier today. I forget what his name. He's like he played the bad guy who
Mhm.
was like half a dude on spider legs. And he's like, worst accent is me. Any line in Wild Wild West.
Nice.
Wow.
All right. Next is you guys know I'm a big Godzilla fan.
Uh-huh.
I've seen all of them, and they're not all good.
No.
There was one called All Monsters Attack from 1969.
Oh, wow.
It was bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Because it basically was a story of this kid who's getting bullied.
Oh, no.
And he talks to Godzilla's son.
Oh, for God's sakes. Oh,
And the
no.
worst part was all of the fight sequence, where most of the fight sequences with Godzilla were like taken from older Godzilla movies.
Nice.
They just recycled the footage.
Oh no.
It was so bad.
Oh my gosh.
It's in that book over there, and I will never watch it ever again. It was terrible.
Capitalism, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, that was back when they realized they had a thing with Godzilla. Like, hey, let's just do one every year.
Yeah.
Make
Yep.
money.
Yep.
All right, next on my list, I have The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Mhm.
'Cause that was
I want
big.
that back. Yeah.
Yes, I would want that.
Mm-hmm.
Babu Freak was the only reason to watch that movie.
I did watch it, but I can't say it was bad because I didn't watch it fully. Halfway through. So
Sounds
You
about
were-
right.
You were right to do so.
just gave up.
Sounds about right.
All right, next one might be controversial to some fans.
Okay.
I absolutely hated Billy Madison.
I could see that.
I have no issue with that at all.
Yeah,
don't
I
think
could
Adam
see
Sandler,
that.
So I don't.
Yeah,
You have to kind of get into Adam Sandler's kind of humor, like right off the bat, if you're not expecting it. And so when you walk into something like a Billy Madison movie and you see it for the first time, it's like, how is this guy funny?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
You know, that kind of a deal. So yeah, I could totally see that.
The only movie I've ever seen Adam Sandler in that I liked
Hmm.
was Anger Management.
Yeah.
That
And
was a
that's-
good one.
That was a
and
good
that's
one.
because he wasn't really Adam Sandler in it.
Yeah.
He was like anti-Adam Sandler. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it
No, I
worked
totally
out.
understand the hatred. But I don't watch Adam Sandler movies, so I couldn't put it on the list.
Sure.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So I had seen Billy Madison and I hated it. And I get angry because it's like
Yeah.
he was Marissa Tomei's love interest in Anger Management.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
She is way out of his league.
Big
What-
time.
Well, he does that in all his movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Billy Madison
His
included.
his wife looks like him, but every movie he's in, his wife looks like someone that his wife would be mad that he was.
Yeah.
Right. And then the last one on my list, I may have mentioned on the podcast before, it was Matrix Reloaded.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh god.
I saw that in a movie theater. 'Cause I watched the first Matrix. I was like, oh, this is fun.
Thinking like this is going to be pretty good,
So,
maybe.
That
Yeah.
was 2 for you don't know. No, that was number 2,
2.
right?
No.
Yeah, that was. No, it was 3.
It was the second one.
Yeah, it
The
was
second
2.
one.
It was the second Matrix. Yeah.
The second
No, the
Matrix,
second
that's
Matrix.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second.
If you don't
No.
know Matrix, it was the
It
second.
was the second one. Revolution.
This was the third. Yeah.
I didn't even watch Resolution. That's how much I hated Reloaded. Was I never even saw it.
Be fortunate you didn't watch Revolutions either. It's not really all that good.
But I watched it. It was
Might
one of
be
the
worse.
the first dates I ever took my wife on.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, it was bad.
Oh, what were you doing?
I don't know.
Well, at least you're still married.
Yeah, that's true. The
That's
movie
good.
theater was like hot. I think the air conditioning was broken or something, and it was so bad. The 20-minute like dancing scene.
Oh yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Nothing to.
What did that have to do with
You needed
computers?
it,
Like
because you needed it.
exactly. So that's my list.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to sporting events then.
Mm.
Matt, I'll start with you.
Yeah. So I actually, this one kind of got me, throwing the hat towards the television mad. Phillies against the St. Louis Cardinals in the National League Division Series Game 5. Or I think it was Game 4. I think it was. They're up. The Cardinals are up 2-1. We need to kind of win out in order to move on. It was the year of Roy Halladay or something along those lines. It was the second year of Roy Halladay's career.
Yeah, it's 2011, right?
Yeah, 2011. And I'm thinking, like, we should beat the Cardinals. And we
Absolutely.
couldn't buy a hit. And then on top of that, they score 1 run off of Halladay, and we couldn't scratch together a couple of runs. And Ryan Howard hits a ground ball, to I think it was, I forget who it was. Maybe it would have been St. Louis's
It doesn't matter.
second baseman. Threw him out.
Doesn't matter.
You don't see
He
Howard.
never made it out of the batter's
Never
box.
made it out of the batter's box. I, of course, go, what the heck? I threw my hat. Was really mad at Howard for not even giving it a try. And, of course, he's crumpled on the on the field.
So you felt salty immediately.
Oh, I was like, oh, my, it was immediate kind of going like, no, how could that happen? And it was like, your immediate concern is him, obviously, in his
Right.
health. But yeah, that was so frustrating, not being able to score a single run against that team or scratch out hits, for crying out loud.
Mhm.
Similar vein, Flyers, Ottawa, 2002 NHL quarterfinals. That entire series, we could not score goals, period. We borrowed Adam Oates for like 17 games. He couldn't score worth a damn. It was not good. It was probably one of the only one of the seasons I've ever been a Flyers fan where I was genuinely frustrated at the team.
Oh yeah,
Like
absolutely.
from top on down. Like you trade away somebody to get Adam Oates. I'm thinking like, okay, Adam Oates is pretty decent. He's not. He's a little long in the tooth.
He wasn't peak Adam Oates.
He wasn't peak Adam Oates at
Yeah,
Boston,
he's
but
not
it's
the
like,
man-
okay,
he's not
you're
the man he
expecting
was.
something out of him. And it was nothing. We got nothing out of him at all.
Except, and we'd have to double check this, but I seem to hear a suggestion he may have actually assisted on the 2 goals that were scored in the 5-game series.
Yeah.
He might have.
I might have coughed that up. And then the one I saw in person, Eagles, the rest are Eagles games. 1999 Giants against the Eagles at the Vet. Eagles were up. Deuce Staley was our only offensive weapon. We had Doug Peterson as the quarterback. He wasn't the head coach. And the Giants, though, started mounting a couple of drives. Next thing you know, it's like 17-13 or 17-10. They're getting closer and closer. A fight erupts at the 700 level. I'm in the skybox. I'm looking down. I'm seeing the fight out in front of me. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of fun. What's going on? And the Eagles turn the ball over, back inside their own 10. Giants go to tie the game up. They go to overtime. And then Michael Strahan, who I really don't like Michael Strahan. No, I do. Well,
I don't think many people.
not many people do, but intercepted the ball thrown by Peterson and rumbled in and ruined my afternoon, and not my entire life, but ruined my afternoon for sure.
I do not remember that game.
Yeah, that was really bad.
Yeah.
99. It was an awful, awful thing. And then, so this one I went back and forth on, and I had some, and I guess I'll settle it with you guys. We'll get your thoughts. Back-to-back NFC title game losses by the Eagles. One to the Bucks, obviously 2002. They go up 7-0. They choke it away. They lose it. Or you got the Carolina Panthers the next year in Lincoln Financial Field, and they lose to Jake Delhomme and Ricky Manning.
Both. I would put them both together.
I don't know which is worse. That's my problem.
Well, the problem is they're both the same because nobody changed anything, and they just got beat.
I guess that's true. You're thinking maybe a year older they would get a little bit better,
but they didn't. They literally went in with the same team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually, that's on my list, is the 2003 NFC Championship.
And I think that's worse only because we were playing Carolina, and I'm thinking like we have a better shot to beat the Panthers. It's like, okay, we'll get a pass. Tampa Bay ruined, the closing the vet, whatever. But it's like, okay, brand new stadium. You're going right back in. We got a really good team. You're thinking you got a great shot to win it. And
But
you
Tampa
lose
Bay
to
had a
Jake
pretty good
Delhomme?
defense. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Tampa Bay had a pretty good defense, so
Yeah.
I'll give them a pass on that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. And I had the 03 championship game. They lost 14-3.
Yeah.
4 turnovers,
Mhm.
including 3 interceptions to Ricky Manning.
Ricky Manning Jr.
Who was a Papa's ass.
Yeah.
So
But also he couldn't cover anybody that's on the Eagles roster right now.
Yeah.
No.
And we had to wait another year to beat him with Terrell Owens on the team. And he wouldn't hang with him.
Well,
at
that was
point.
the problem. It was the Eagles' problem because they didn't have a number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the 0-1 loss to the Rams was like, that was the Rams. You could understand it was our first time there.
Yep.
The Buccaneers game was a gut punch, just because we were favored and Tampa Bay had never won in warm weather, all that
Yeah,
stuff. But
cool.
it was still like, this one was like,
Yeah.
There was no excuse for them.
No excuse. You got to
Yeah.
fire everybody. Like,
Yeah. You got to
rid of
blow
it.
everybody up.
No, I totally agree with you.
Yeah. I've long had that kind of argument. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
all
totally
right,
agree with
all right. Well, since he's got one of mine on his list, I'll just finish my
Go for
list.
you. Go for it.
I have the 2001 Philadelphia Flyers exit from the playoffs in round 1, game 6 to Buffalo, an 8-0
Oh,
drubbing
ouch.
to a team that we spanked in the 2000 playoffs.
Yeah.
In 5 games.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I remember that game. Yeah.
I remember Donald Audette just blasting a slap shot to make it like 8-0. I'm like, seriously?
Yeah. It was in their building, right? I think when they won.
I think it was. Yes,
Okay.
because we were the higher seed and it was game 6.
Yeah, it was game 6 in their building. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
we
they didn't
had-
even show up for that.
we had beaten them in all 4 games in the regular season that year.
Yeah.
So this was a team that we had been owning, and then all of a sudden, and all the games up to that point had been close.
Yeah. That
This
one came
was-
out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this was like so.
Yeah.
Oh well, they've been close. We're down 3-2. If we tie this, we could maybe get to game 7.
Sure.
No, we just go out and lay the biggest stinking egg I've seen to
Ever in the history of the world. Okay.
Sticking with the Flyers, I have a December 2009 regular season loss to the Washington Capitals
Oh,
by a score of 8-2.
wow.
It was Peter Laviolette's first game behind the bench
Oh, God.
after John Stevens had been fired. The game was tied 1-1 in
Yeah.
the first period.
Yeah.
Dan Carcillo tries to fight somebody who wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Gets 9 minutes in penalty power play time.
Mm.
Oh, jeez.
A major for fighting and
And then
2
probably
minors.
your 2 minors for like probably your well, there wasn't a misconduct. There's
Well,
a
no, he got it. He also
instigator. There's
he
probably
also
an
got a-
instigator.
Yeah, it was probably instigator and a roughing
And a roughing and a fighting.
and he got a misconduct and he was thrown out. But 9 minutes of power play, including 5 minutes of major time. The Capitals went and scored 3 power play
Yeah.
goals over that time.
Completely turned the game. Yeah.
Turned the game around. I remember Mike Richards, who was the captain,
Hmm.
coming out for the post-game interview, looked like he was shell-shocked.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I
Can you imagine if you had a ticket to that kind of a game? You're kind of like, when do we leave after the second period or
I know,
what? You know?
right?
Oh.
And that was Laviolette's first game.
Yeah. What a, yeah.
I went back to try to see when he took over because I couldn't remember if this was the end of the Stevens tenure. or
Yeah.
early.
Yeah.
And then I saw it was his first game. Like, oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So we watched thinking, new coach, let's see what he does.
Sure.
10
That
years
happens.
old,
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I have, I'll do another Eagles game last year.
49ers?
No. That I could understand.
Yeah.
Lost to the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, yeah.
35-31.
Yeah. No
Had a-
excuse for that.
Had a 21-6 lead at halftime.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Had a 31. They kicked a field goal to make it 31-28 with over 2 minutes left. Arizona marches down 7 plays, 70 yards in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And wins it on a James Conner touchdown.
Yeah.
There was a point the Eagles took a timeout on offense, and there were guys running onto the field, and they did not know who was supposed to be in the huddle.
Oh.
There were guys looking at the sideline like, and this was coming out of a timeout.
Yeah.
This was like Doc Rivers' special.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah, total 100%.
And
Yeah.
at that point, I'm like, seriously, this is what we went to the Super Bowl the year before. This is what
It's
we
like
are
there's
now.
no excuse for that.
We don't even know who's supposed to be on the field after a
Yeah.
timeout.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
It's like it's so stupid.
And I know the loss to the Giants the week after was probably just as bad, but this was
Yeah, this is that
was
ranks
like,
right up there.
seriously?
Yeah, yeah.
seriously.
That makes you question like Sirianni and why he's why he's the head coach.
And we'll
More
get
on
into
that
all
next week.
Yeah, next week. Eagles season preview. My son, we were watching the final preseason game. We decided we're cutting half the team that played today.
There you go.
It's
There you go.
like,
There
you're
you
cut,
go.
you're cut.
You're cut.
You missed the tackle, you're cut. Oh, you jumped off sides, you're cut.
Yeah.
Last one, 2022 Phillies in the World Series get no hit in Game 4.
Yes.
That is a disgrace.
Yeah.
Yes.
In your home building.
In your home
Yeah.
stadium in the World Series, and you can't get one stinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was pathetic,
Yeah.
as Ricky Bo would say.
Couldn't disagree with that.
Yes.
That ranks up there.
Yeah. All right, John, you go now.
All right.
5
So
terrible
I'll
games.
go. I'll go. I don't remember what game it was. It was when Chase Utley hit the fly ball that should have been a home run at any other 364 days of the year against the Cardinals, and then Brian Howard blew his Achilles.
So, all right, so
That-
it's the same one
yeah,
that
whatever,
John.
yeah,
Matt
whatever
had.
Yeah.
game that was.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's 5 for me because that was just
Yeah.
that was knowing that dynasty was over.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that sticks with me. Like,
Stop whining.
yeah, you
I
guys
want to
just-
though.
You guys just suck.
Yeah.
And suck they
You can't-
did for a decade.
Yeah.
Yes, but everything else is something I've been at.
Okay.
So, but that's my 5. So I'll start with a Phillies Cubs game in the middle of August. It was a rain delay. I had bought tickets literally 5 minutes before,
Oh no.
and there was a rain delay for like 3 hours.
Oh no.
Um,
Oh no.
and Jimmy Rollins hits a home run in the 8th inning to tie the game.
Mm-hmm.
So me being the idiot that I am after a 3-hour rain delay, and there's no transit going on because I took the train to get there.
Oh man.
We'll just stay. Walk off Cubs home run.
Oh.
I end up walking back to Fishtown from the
Oh.
stadium
Oh my gosh.
by myself.
Yikes.
because
Johnny.
like,
Oh
it was-
no.
I bet on team, and it didn't work
And
out.
it didn't work out.
That
Wait,
was
wait.
a
So
that was a terrible game.
when was the rain delay? Was it after the 8th inning or was it earlier?
It was the 6th inning, I believe. It was the
Oh
rain
wow.
delay.
Okay.
Surprised they
And
didn't
it
call
was
it. Yeah.
it was tremendous.
Yeah.
And I think 1:30 I left the stadium, and I walked back home. And I lived in Fishtown, so it was
Wow.
only like an hour and a half walk. So it wasn't. I didn't walk all the way up to the suburbs. Like, wasn't far, but
Yeah. Oh my
yeah, I
gosh.
remember that game always, like, because I bought the tickets on a whim.
And you're like, I could just go enjoy this and
Well, I
whatnot.
want to go to the baseball game. Like, I had time
Yeah.
off, and I was like, oh shit, I want to go to a baseball game. So I bought the tickets, and I went to the baseball game, and that's what happened, which is hilarious.
Go
because it
Always
was
check
just
the
a shit-
radar, people.
Yeah.
Total shit show.
Oh.
Shit show.
Wow.
So so the Dolphins Eagles game. I don't remember what it was, but I worked for a company for a while, and I was doing some side work for them. They invited me
Mm-hmm.
to this 1 o'clock Dolphins Eagles game. I
Yeah.
don't remember.
Was it
much
after
about
the
it.
Super Bowl?
No, it was before the Super Bowl.
Oh, it was before it. Okay.
We had front row seats in the end zone, so I was
Wow.
the first guy
Wow.
watching the game. It was the worst game I've ever seen the Eagles and Dolphins play. The funny part was I was getting texts from people because I see you on TV.
Oh
And
wow.
I'm like, I wanted to throw my phone onto the field because it was so bad. That we kept going. Me and the manager that I knew, we kept going up and getting drunk and getting food from our, like, they set us up beautifully to have a wonderful time, and
Yeah.
the game was bullshit.
Yeah.
I still thank those dude. It was a tremendous
Oh,
fun
wow.
time, but the game was dog shit. I can't believe that game was even an NFL game.
Would
Wow.
this be
It was
the-
that was like a high school game.
Yeah.
would this be a 20-19 Dolphins win?
I
in
think so. Yeah.
2015.
Wow. In Miami.
Yes, and
No,
it was
here, no, it was
Oh, it's
No.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
in Philly, but it was just a dog shit game. The
Yeah.
whole game was just dumb.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's wild.
Nobody played well.
That's
Oh, it was
something else.
it was the end of the Chip Kelly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
awful. It was awful.
I'm just looking
It
at
was
I'm looking at the box score. and,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, it was awful. It was why
DeMarco
would you do
Murray. DeMarco Murray ran for 61 yards on 22 attempts.
that? Yes.
It's pretty bad.
It was like one of those games where you're just like, why am I here? Thank God I was being fully confident. It was a beautiful experience.
Right.
But at the
getting
same time,
text- during
yeah.
during that game, you're getting texts. I see you on TV, and it's like you
No.
see me on TV on the worst Eagles game that ever.
Yeah.
I see you on
That's
TV,
awful.
which I'm turning off now
Yeah.
because this game is horseshit.
Exactly.
So I'll go from that game to go to the. So an owner of a company I was working for gave me tickets to the Kansas City Chiefs. So I took my dad to the Kansas City Chiefs Eagles. I think it was like 95.
Oh, okay.
And it was super exciting. I got to take my dad to a game. I
Yeah.
was getting season tickets. We were sitting in the good spot. And it's always going to be the worst game I was ever at because they went up like 21, and then it was just like you just knew, like, as soon as halftime hit, you were like, they're gonna get their ass kicked.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm stuck here to
Yeah.
watch them get their ass kicked. I think it was like 28-21 or whatever it was, but it was a long time ago. It's the worst game I was ever at
Mm.
because my dad was there. Like, you want to see a you want to see.
Yeah, you want to see him win or whatnot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
sure.
want to see him win, especially the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So that one sucks. So last one, I think I'm at the last one at this point, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. So I went to a Flyers game. It was when Pat Falloon was
Oh
traded
God.
Oh, no.
Away
Okay.
from us or to us?
to us.
Okay.
Pat Falloon was traded, and I think they were playing the San Jose Sharks that night.
Oh, my gosh.
And he scored 2 quick goals.
Yeah.
Like 2 quick, bang, bang. So the whole game, and this is why I don't like Philadelphia fans, the whole game, all they wanted was the hat trick on the old team.
Yeah.
So the game was fucking ruined because the team bought into it and everybody bought into it. I saw that dude skate for so long.
Yeah.
And it was like, this game sucks.
All because they wanted to see Pat Falloon get the
They
hat trick.
ended up winning,
Yeah.
and he was so gassed at the end of the game. I remember him
I remember that.
falling over the bench
Yeah.
at the end of the game
Yeah.
because he shifted like 11 shifts in a row.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
They wanted him to get the third
He
goal.
finally at the end, and I realized how fans fuck shit up. And that's why I put this in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
All right.
Wow.
All right. Well, that's quite a list from all of us, and we hope we've drug you down to our level of misery on this fine,
Oh.
whenever the hell you're listening to us.
Oh.
Yes.
All right, but
Don't forget, you can get volcano water in the Pacific.
for the low price of $89.97.
Exactly.
Comes from real volcanoes, people.
That's
This is a
right.
mortgage. Yeah, I just could get a mortgage.
At least you're not drinking magnesium sulfate. I mean, look what it's done to Matt.
Yeah. I'm talking out of my ear balls now. So there you go.
That's true.
Exactly. You drink magnesium sulfate, you grow ear balls.
Yeah, you never
That's just what
know.
happens.
That's just what's going to happen.
All right. Well, if you like this and more nonsense, you're going to like us next week when we show up for episode 205.
5. Woo.
All right. But until then, just get out.
Thanks for checking out this episode of Two Noobs Talking. For more information about our podcast, feel free to check out our website located at twonoobstalking.wordpress.com, and we'll see you next week.